Okay, so this is a continuation of the Unit 7 Review 2. This is the part 2 of that. So we're on problem number 3, and they ask us to find the sine of A for the triangle below. So let's see what we got. Sine. So sine of A. Well, actually, let's do this in blue, shall we? So the sine of A equals, well, let's see, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So that is 72 over 90. That is what sine of A is. If we want to find the cosine of B, right, so that's sine of A. Actually, we can simplify that. Why not? Sine of A, so dividing by 9, that is 8/9. Let's go find the cosine of B. So the cosine of B is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine of B is adjacent, which is 72, over hypotenuse, which is 90. Notice that's the same thing as the sine of A. So we get the cosine of B is 8/9. Then the tangent of A. Well, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So tangent of A equals opposite, which is 72, over adjacent, which is 54. So tangent of A, let's simplify that. That is 8/6, which is 4/3. Okay. Then they asked us to go find the measure of angle A, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so I can say, I'm going to just use sine. So I'm going to say the sine of angle A is, we said it was, I'm going to use what we said above, is 8/9. But we want to go now find the measure of angle A. So remember, the way we do that is we take the arc sine. So I can say the arc sine of 8/9 equals the value of A. So let's go find what that is. So at this point, it's a calculator question. So the arc sine of 8 divided by 9, 8 divided by 9 is, so A is approximately equal to 62.7 degrees. Again, this is a degree measure. Okay, let's move along. Last two questions. Let's see what we can do. Find the missing sides and angles of the triangle. Let's see what we can do. So let's look at this first one. Let's see if this is a special triangle, because it kind of looks special to me. See if you agree. So this looks like a 30, 60, 90 to me, but let's check. If this is a 30, 60, 90, and that would make the short side for our kind of our base triangle is equal to 1, our hypotenuse equal to 2, and the other side is equal to 1 times root 2 or root 2. I'm sorry, 1 times root 3 or root 3. Let's see if that works. So if I take the short side and I multiply it by root 3, do I get the long side? I think you'd agree I do. So because of that, this has to be a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So that means the hypotenuse has to be double the short side. So the hypotenuse has to be 8, which makes this angle right here, the small angle, has to be equal to 30, and the large angle has to be equal to 60. Okay, easy peasy. Let's keep on going here. Let's go find our missing measure. So first off, I think you'd agree that since the angle measures have to add up to 180, this one right here has to be 40. Let's take care of that because they are asking for our angle measures. Now let's go find our values. Now this is not a special triangle, right? There's nothing that we know. So what I can just do is I'm going to use the fact that this adjacent, if I'm looking at the angle 40, then 20 is an adjacent angle. So let's go find, I'm going to call this X, and I'm going to call this Y. So let's see. If I said the tangent, right, of 40, what would that be equal to? That would be the opposite, which is X, over the adjacent, which is 20. So I get 20 times tangent of 40 equals X. Plugging that into my calculator, I get 20 times tangent of 40, which is x is approximately equal to 16.7. They asked to the nearest tenth, so 8. Okay, let's go find y. So let's see. I'm going to use that 20 again. So I'm going to use the angle of 40 degrees, and I'm going to use 20 again. So let's see. Now I have adjacent over hypotenuse. Oh, that's cosine. So I'm going to say the cosine of 40 equals adjacent, which is 20, over the hypotenuse, which is y. So y times the cosine of 40 equals 20. So y equals 20 divided by the cosine of 40. So let's go figure out what that is. Time to plug that into our calculator. So we get 20 divided by cosine of 40. And that gives me y is approximately, right? It's not exact because I'm going to round. It's approximately equal to 26.1, whatever the units are, because we don't have a unit value. Okay, and that is part 2 of the Unit 7 Review 2 lesson.